This is Kirk with Forex Trading Secrets. I'm going to be talking to you today about how to get a free copy of our trading course. We call it the 1551 trading course, and there'll be a link that will be given to you, so you'll be able to get that at the end of the presentation. Now, so we're going to show you the simplest, the most straightforward trading system that we know of. Now, it only takes about an hour and a half to watch the videos through once, and of course you want to go back and look at some of the key points again. But it's very precise, accurate. It's amazing as to how simple it can be and how profitable. So the course is designed to actually make money. Now, that statement is something that's coming from our students. We didn't just say that. Our students have actually said that to us. We'll give you suggestions of the currency pairs that we trade, and so that you can maximize your profits. Okay, I'm going to show you some pictures of some actual trades that people took, and you can see where the entry and exits were, so forth. And this is different types of trading. This one, it was an add-on. It had 34 pips, and then they added on and made an additional 25 pips on that trade. And he's pointing out the exit signal. When it had gone far enough, then when this indicator went back across the zero line, then he figured that was a point that he would consider to get out. Okay, here's another one. That was 40 pips. Here's a 25 pip. Here's two small trades. Okay, now this was someone who was a little nervous. They got in, got out, got in, got out. Had they got in sooner and stayed in longer, they could have captured, for sure, anything above that green line would have been a safe trade for a lot more pips, and done add-ons in these areas where he got in again. Okay, now we're going to go right to the charts. First of all, I want to start off with this 1 hour chart. We're going to start with the long term. 4 hour to me is too long. I'm not going to try and defend that right here, but the 4 hour to me is too long. The market can move up and down so much in 4 hours that you're missing a lot of potential. 1 hour, I think, is a lot better. I'm going to show you how to generally, there's nothing that's accurate 100%, but this is really highly accurate as to how to find the trend. So I'm going to put some vertical lines on some areas. Okay, notice that we call this the male, and we call this the filter. You notice that right there they changed to be the same color. And so that's what I'm going to be doing, is putting them on areas where they changed colors. Now notice what we're looking at also is in relation to these moving averages. Okay, it had a big upswing, and then it came down. So that's the period that told you that potentially the market was not going to continue to go up anymore, and it was potentially go down. So let's mark a few more of these. Right here, they were the same color. Now this is going the opposite direction. Look what happened. It's not necessarily immediate, but that's the heads up. Keep your eye on it, and it went back like 50 pips. There's another one, and there was a little move down for some pips. I don't use this as my heads up because sometimes these are a little bit later. You might be halfway through a half-hour period before you actually see it, and on the smaller time frames you can pick it up. But if you're doing long-term trading, what's the major trend, then this is what you would be looking for. Right there, these two right there. Okay, see, it didn't hit on the part that went down. It did give you heads up, so it was like an hour you had to wait. And of course, there's 120 some odd pip move. Now there's moves all over through here. These are pretty straightforward. You can go, once you learn how to do it, you can go back and take a look at those as to how you would trade those. But let's look right. Well, it actually started right there. See what happened? It went up. I don't think that it's going to make any difference whether people are critical, saying, well, you're looking back in history. Well, can you tell if that changed colors from the down color to the long color? Well, wait 2 hours, and it changed back again. Look what it did. This is just an indication, a heads up. Start looking that the market's going to go in that direction. And you can see pretty accurately with a high probability that the market moves up when you have these big swings. Now right here, look, it went up again. That said, the second thing. One thing is the market's going to change directions. The other thing is it might just go sideways. In this case, it went sideways, and when it's pulled a long ways away from these moving averages, you have a greater likelihood that it will go in the opposite direction. You see how that pulled away? I'll do one more. Now this is for the long-term concept. And you see how accurate that was overall. Oh yeah, you still have to fine-tune and learn how to use it, but that kind of gives you a major indication which way should I be trading in this market. Okay, now that's the long term. Now, is what I want to propose to you is don't be concerned about trading long term or trading short term. Why not trade the market? Trade what the market's giving you. I'm showing you how to kind of keep an eye on what the long term is. You see that set up very fresh. Then you may get into a position, manage it. Once it gets rolling in your direction, then you put some take profits and some stop losses so you have profit protected, and then you can leave your computer. Just for example, that one went about 60 pips, so you could have taken out something out of that one. This one went over 100 pips, and I'm going to go up here on this one because it moved so quickly. That one was another 100 pips, and here's another 100 pips. So you can see that you can make some pretty good pips. What if you made 50 pips on each one of those trades? Well, that's great trading, because that's one day going down, half a day, and half a day going back up, and then coming back down. So in a short period of time, in the 1 hour chart, each of these lines is 1 day. So in a week's period of time, you can make 200 or 300 pips just using that strategy. But that's just one way when you're away from the computer. Now let's look at this same area right here on the 15-minute. These are the lines, the major lines that we talked about, showing you what the 1 hour was doing. And now we're looking at a fine-tune. This is what the 15-minute was doing. And there's ways to get into these trades. Right here, this is where the 1 hour changed colors, and look what it did. There's the sideways area that had a sharp pull down, and then on this 15-minute, it did give you some signals that, well, maybe I ought to start trading long. So you could trade down on this one, it turned, and trade long. Now we're going to have to go to this first area, and then I want to go to a smaller time frame, the 5 and the 1 minute, just to give you a perspective as to what is taking place. So here's what the 5 minute was looking like. Okay, notice this moving average again. As long as it's above that, that would be the direction you may want to trade. And remember, on this 5 minute, let's look at this male filter again, that same concept right there. It was only a 10-minute move, but it's still 20 pips. And so it's in the right direction, and we saw that it was in the right direction on the 1 hour. And we saw that it was the right direction on the 15-minute. And so the 5 minute, in 1 minute, you could just take all these little trades. Whenever it said go long again, take those trades, and you can pile 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 40 in that length of time, 40 or 50 pips, just taking those small little trades. Okay, let's go to one. We just did this up move right here. Let's do the down move. Let's go to the 15 so we can get it positioned. Okay, right over here. This is where the 15 said that it's possibly going down. Let's look at the 5 minute. Okay, once it gets below that moving average on the 5 minute chart, well, there's a nice little move there. And then there's you could actually have that one big move for 50 pips, even though it went sideways some. Went sideways again. Remember when we saw this area on the 1 hour that was sideways, and this happens to be the 15-minute view of that. Go back to the 5 minute. After that did finally punch out, then here you have a 60 pip move. Now this is on a smaller time frame, timing the entry. So you're looking at the direction on a bigger time frame and timing your entry in a smaller time frame so you can take out more pips, these 50, 30 pip moves all over the place by looking at the smaller time frames. Now we've looked at the going up, and it's coming down, and it's going up, and well, let's do this coming down so we look at the 1 minute and make sure we have enough information. This would be the 5-minute view of that portion coming down. So once the price bars glow below that moving average on the 5-minute, then what direction you would want to consider trading. Then let's go to the 1-minute, see if that gives us any more information. This green line right here is that 5-minute moving average, so you can view it on a 1-minute chart. And so right here, this is really counter trend trading. You can do it and you can make money doing it, but you got to be on top of your game. Now, on the 1-minute, what if you waited until your price bars were below 2 moving averages? You have a higher probability of making some trades here. Now, when the price bars are below all 3 or above, whichever direction the market's going, that's where you're going to get your bigger trends. And you can see that if you're nervous and got in and out, there were some 10, 15 pip moves, and that looks like that was the biggest one for about 20 pips in that view. So that's the concept. I'm going to back look at this 1 hour. Right here's this end portion is what the 1 hour looks like. Let's go to the 15-minute. That's what it looks like in the 15-minute. The 5-minute, and then of course you can go to the 1-minute and see all the detail. Many times we'll say get into a trade, and once it's profitable, move up to the 5-minute to manage it. You don't need to stay on the 1-minute to manage it. That would be a little nerve-wracking. So that's the concept of long-term, short-term, but instead of doing that, trade the market. Look at the long-term, find out which direction it's going, and then time your entry on the smaller time frames so you can make pips even if you only have a short period of time to look at the market. The course that we're talking about has a section in it which shows you how to do long-term trading as well as the short-term, and how that is when you walk away from your computer. I'm going to bring this dashboard over here, and these are the scans that are going off. This is where they're recorded. And on this chart, I'm going to click those 3 scans. That's when those setups are met, it'll bring a pop-up and show you one of these will appear, and you say, oh, I can go look at that. It'll give you the timestamp. Now notice right here, this is the choppy market. At 10 minutes after the hour, it said to go long. At 14, almost 15 minutes after the hour, it said to go short. If you look at that chart, it would be a choppy market, and that's what you're going to get. So just the signals are right, they're correct. You have to decide again which direction is the market going, and you see that it goes up and it goes down, but just look, say, okay, I'm not interested in that long because the market's going short, or vice versa. So this is the symbol settings where you can choose which currency pairs you want to use and which pairs or which scans do I want to trade. And this, you can do these on the fly. Many times once I pick a pair or 2 that I'm watching, I will eliminate all the others, and it can change every day, can change within an hour or so, the pairs that I'm watching, because one pair may have had its move and it's going sideways, another one might show a move. Okay, this is what we call our trend tracker, and I have mine set on the 5-minute chart. And you notice on the other chart, which we'll go back to, has 3 indicators at the bottom. I only have 2 showing on this one. So I'm looking at the 5-minute, and I can see right here, this 5-minute changed colors. And so in the last 10, 12 minutes, it changed colors, and then I go to the 1-minute and see if I want to take that. Well, it did move 15 pips, but is that the direction I want to trade, or do I want to wait until it goes back the other way? This is a choppy market. You can see the choppy market looking here. Okay, this one had a nice up move. It was on the correct side of the moving averages. It went up 42 pips, and that's on a 5-minute chart. But so this is only a couple hours ago that took place. See, this one possibly could have been traded, but part of it was counter trend, then it went in trend. So the way the market's moving depends on, as far as a trend or counter trend, is which side of the moving averages the price bars are on. This is a 5-minute chart also. and we're looking at current data right here. Let me go to the pound yen. Okay, right in here. It's this section right here. I want to draw this line over here. So that says the price bar passed above that. The male filter. Now it started working over here and said, "Heads up, start watching. I'm doing something. I'm not happy going short anymore because I'm giving all this long signals." And when the price bars pass above that moving average, let's go to the 1 minute. Then we look for a 4-bar, or we want the filter. And there's 3 indicators all on the same side, same color, above 2 moving averages. That's where the scan's going to go off, is right in there. And there's the 13 pips. Now, if you will look at it again on the 5 minute to manage that, you can take that, or you can say, I'm going to get out, and there's another point to get in right there, and there's a 28, so you could have taken out a good 20 pips out of that section right there. And that's what has happened just recently. Now this is counter trend again. You can see that for sure. But notice when it's on the same side of all 3 moving averages, how well it moved, how many pips you made. And so that's what you want to look for. There's some days you'll get hundreds of pips in a direction. Or it might go 50 pips, but you can add on 2 or 3 times and still get the 100 pips. I want to show you some trades. All these trades came in within the last 2 days from students. This is 40 pips. How do you catch those? Well, heads up. It had a little bit of retracement, but notice that it was on the correct side of all 3 moving averages, and that's what gave you confidence. And then looking at a larger time frame, and then when it went off in this direction, many times this trader would add on to those. Right here, here's one going both ways. First one is 28 pips. Oh yeah, the 28 pips was right there, and it entered again for another 11. And I don't know what it looked like on a smaller time frame, but then he entered again here for 16. My observation was it was late. Not that it was bad, but just look at it, he could have made at least another 16 pips had he entered right when the market is going in a trend, and this is counter trend, so there's ways of doing both of those. This one was 167 pips on these 2 trades. Start out as a counter trend, and then he added on over here, and so those are the types of pips traders are making. 167 is a fantastic trade. Those are home runs. You'll get those once in a while. Okay, right here, this was 2 trades, 38 pips. And it says, credit goes to John. Now, John's one of the traders, must have called this out. This person took the trade and was able to make the 38 pips. Here's a 28 pip and a 3 pip. Got back in. 2 things I see on this, and I talked to the trader about this. They said, yes, I was thinking it went down to, you kind of had in mind of a 30 pip take profit. It went down, hit that, and came back up, and so he just closed it. He said, had I left it, well, you can see there's probably another 5 to 8, maybe 10 pips in there. This one was late. I said, why did you take that late? He says, well, I was looking at another currency pair when I saw it. Then he lucked out with some pips. Still, 31 pips. Okay, this was sent to me today. I'm going to point out a couple things. This is a demo account. This is a relatively new trader to our system, and I don't know how long they've been trading before they came to our system. They're trading a standard account. These are standard lot sizes. Notice the date. It was the 31st of December. And notice this date is the 9th of December. And with there were losses, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 losses, and the rest are wins. So there's a good win-loss ratio. Look at the profit, 5,000. What if they don't have been trading one mini lot? That's still $537 if they've been trading one mini lot. Now let me share with you what the person said on this. Kirk, I've never imagined this was even possible. Thank you so much to you and Jed. This is life-changing. I don't want to put this in the forum in case it looks like I'm showing off. I'm so grateful. And I'll show you about the forum in just a minute, but she posted this to me in a private scanner. This was right on the forum, and I just took this off. This is the first system I have found that actually works. I went ahead and paid for the lifetime subscription, and that is so exciting to see these people actually making progress, making pips. Okay, the market was choppy. This was today. This trader kept on trading in this choppy market. Notice how choppy it was going here? Let's just look at this. Had a nice little run here, made 13 pips. That is a break even, made another one pip or so. Lost 5, 6, 10. He almost lost everything right here that he made on that first trade. And then he had a small win and then a big 20 pip and a 5 pip. So overall, the numbers show that he netted 30 pips. Now see what happens when these moving averages, the price bars are all on the same side of the moving averages. Look what happens. That's where the big trade could be taken. Right here, this was it's kind of counter trend trade. It was below the moving average there. Decent trade there. But see what happens right here. And I told him that I said, why didn't you wait for good setups? And he says, well, I got excited, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, he didn't lose everything. I just calm down. Wait for the good signals. Just be patient. And then you don't have to have these drawdowns. So what if you'd had one drawdown of 5? That's better than 13. You could have had a 35, 36 pips profit instead of only 30 by staying out of this choppy market right here. The question is, maybe you're asking, how do I get this trading system? Well, so what I'm going to show you is, here's the link. Okay, so you can take this link, type it into a browser, and then you'll get the link for the access to the course material. Okay, it'll take you to this first. You enter your first name and your email, and it'll send you a guest pass. You get the course, but the PIP Club, we haven't even talked about the PIP Club. That happens Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. That will come to you. Also, you get a 2-week trial to come and visit the PIP Club. So the PIP Club is over for this week. So the next 2 weeks, on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, you'll be able to attend the PIP Club. This is the scanner forum. This is where different traders are talking back and forth to one another about trades they take and the pictures that they post as to what they've done. You know, they put in little things, joke around a lot, but they're having a good time while trading. This is my time, 12:36 a.m. I'm asleep. These people are from different parts of the world, and they're talking to one another, so they're trading around the clock. So anytime that you might be awake, there's probably someone going to be in here. There's more and more people involved with this all the time. And so you can see all the statements. Now, I copied a couple of these statements and read them to you, but this is the thing that I get on the pound yen short on what I think they call an early bird special. Well, there's we call it the early bird filter. The filter and the May are the same color. Remember we talked about that? Well, that's the language. So everyone's talking the same language. And here's pictures of some trades that were taken. So that's the forum. So once you subscribe, this is not this free section here that we're giving you the course material. You have to subscribe to the scanner if you want to be involved with traders live and actually talk to people. Then that's what you'll be able to see. These are some of the best traders in the world. I am blown away. You see traders making 50 to 150, 200 pips in a day. They've got to be up there as some of the best traders in the world. And you're getting to trade alongside them and watch them trade and listen to them. And I don't know that I've ever said that to them. I don't want to take them off their humbleness. They think they're just average traders, but if you haven't made those kind of pips, you know they're really good traders. Right here, if you have any questions, you can go to the website, forextradingsecrets.com, and you can see, and that's where you'll get the course material. You can send us an email or a phone call, and let's lay out a course of what's going to work for you. That's not going to cost you anything, but that's what we have available right there. Okay, Dave says, so you go to the hourly, then go down to the 30, then the 15. I don't use the 30. If you notice on my chart, I have totally taken that time frame off. It's so close to the hour and the 15 that I use the hour and the 15. So we do have a scan that is the 1 hour, 15-minute scan. And so you can use that time frame also. And then, of course, from there say, okay, I am going to go to the smaller time frames and time the entry. And then once it gets a little bit profitable, we have people say, and everyone has their own style of doing this. One says when it gets 10 pips profitable, I'll move it to protect 2 or 3 pips, and I have my take profit set out, and I'll put a trailing stop on it, and I'm going to go to bed. Worst thing that can happen, I'll wake up with the positive 2 pips or 5 pips, wherever I set that protect profit, or I could wake up at 30, 40, 50 pips because of the take profit or the trailing stop. There's a good question. The moving averages are in the course material, so when you download the course material, watch the videos, it'll tell you which moving averages we're using. Do you have an expert advisor on this? No. The scanner is the closest thing we have to an expert advisor, but we have nothing that automatically will take a trade or get out of a trade. I've asked programmers to program that, and they get, as the market jitters back and forth, it'll keep on giving things signals and take in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out, and then it'll take you to a trade. And so we've never had a programmer that could program it to get past the flickering of the market going up and down in those sideways movements. Okay, here's the link again. Which pairs do we normally trade? Well, I have 10 pairs showing here. I have the gold and the silver just marking colors so I know where things are at. The Euro New Zealand, Pound New Zealand, they work better for me in the Asian session. They move quite a bit, but sometimes they work well in the U.S. session, or else they can be a little bit choppy. The Euro U.S. and Pound U.S. don't move as much as these up here. So the pairs that I like to use are the Euro and the Pound as the main pair, and the cross pair would be the Australian, the CAD, or the Yen. Those are 6 pairs. So if the pounds are moving, I only look at those 3. That narrows it down to those 3. If the euros are moving, I look at those. Maybe the Aussie is the pair that's moving. Then I look at the pound and the euro, Aussie. And that you have to kind of get a feel for it.